Thank you all so much. It's an honor to be here tonight. Before I give a speech, I always ask God to give me the words. And tonight's word is gratitude. And I appreciate that because with gratitude also comes grace. I was a little girl that grew up in Avondale, where I went to, and for those that don't know, Avondale is one of the low income communities in greater Cincinnati. It has been that way. I won't tell you my age, but my gray hair tells it all. It's been that way my entire life. It's not easy to rise from a community like this because poverty is a mindset and you have to change that mindset. But I had parents that put conservative views in me that were God, family, education, respect, and justice. Every day that I went to school, my Brett Burton Elementary, they had me do the pledge every day. They had us stand in front of the school and say that we can be anything that we want to be. My grandmother, Rose, that's who I'm named after. When I went to her house and sat on her porch in Evanston, when my family was finally able to afford a home and move us out of income-based housing, because my mom was a fourth generation teen mom. So I was proud when she moved us out of income-based housing. But when I went to my grandmother's house, I sat on her porch and she told me I can be anything that I want to be. I just didn't know that at 16 I would be a mom. But I am grateful because I remembered on my walk about grace and gratitude. And when I fought my way to ensure that my team, that my kids didn't grow up to experience the same thing that I did. And when I found my way in 2006 to the west side of Cincinnati from the east side, I was grateful because I had found Mount St. Joseph University, where I went for my bachelor's degree after spending more than a decade working at the post office, believing that I only had a back in order to break through the system, but I wanted to use my brain. And so through Mount St. Joseph University, they gave me life. And even though I was different in every classroom that I sat in, and I always felt insufficient, I understood that there was an assignment on my life, and that assignment and that calling led me to start an organization called Rosemary's Babies Company. And it was then that I knew that my life was of service. And I've spent the last decade helping teen parents across the nation to tell them you don't have to be dependent on the system. You don't have to accept what they give you, because when you take what they give you, it keeps you where you are and it keeps you bound. When teen parents walk into our new $2 million facility that took me 3 years to build because I wanted them to have a place of dignity, respect, a place that they could call home and they could rise from. So that when they walk through those doors, they understand that in Avondale, where I grew up and went back to build their facility just across the street, it makes a difference because of the people that you're around, because you have gratitude and grace for what life has brought you, and you use those barriers for breakthroughs. So after I built Holloway House and Resource Center, after I served for 10 years in service to the community and across the nation, building policy, like working for John Husted on his diversity council and working for systems in order to create policy for maternal health. After I built a facility to be able to help teen parents change the trajectory of their life, here came the big, beautiful bill. And when I looked at it and I read it and I understood my final assignment, that you can have 3 acts in your life. And this is my third act. Everything within the bill where they were streamlining resources and they were streamlining programming to let people know everything's going to be okay, but we can't keep giving you handouts. That we cannot continue to fund people's bad behaviors and lifestyles because of their choices. I understood all of these things because one, I had lived through them, but the other, I had helped more than 3,000 teen parents and nationally had associated with millions in order to change the trajectory of their lives and how they saw themselves. My conservative values of God, family, education, respect, and justice, I plan to take those things into Congress because we need a new standard here in Ohio's first district. One that Greg Lansman has not brought. One that doesn't just come from reading textbooks or learning just from storytelling, like what my grandmother told me, but one where you have roots embedded in your city. One that comes from when you've built something from nothing. One that comes from people tell you you can't run because you're different, or one where your friends walk away from you when you tell them, hey, I'm running for Congress and I'm a conservative. And 20-year friendships, they turn their back on you, but you know what your calling is, and you know what gratitude is, and your gratitude to God is what you continue to run. We continue to move forward. I want to bring a standard to Ohio's first district, and that standard is the Rosemary Red standard. I wanted you to remember my name too. Not just because of Rosemary's Baby's the movie, but because I wanted to bring a standard. And that standard is about babies, businesses, and Ohio first. We have to take care of home. That's what my dad always told me. That's why I started back at my roots when I started Rosemary's Baby's Company. But now I can take all of these experiences where I built within Holloway House, where we were already doing Baja, where we were already telling teen parents to not get on the system and get on welfare, where we were already setting people up with retirement accounts and helping them find careers like the one that I found at the post office, and helping them to change their trajectory. I understand what small businesses need, and I'm not talking about your small businesses where they say they're $5 million and you need 20 employees, that's a small business. No, I'm talking about your mom and pops. I'm talking about the ones like the Forum where, it's a home here and it's family when you walk in those buildings. They're income replacement businesses where maybe you want to grow, but you need leverage funds. How we can take the millions of dollars that Greg Lansman has given to nonprofits, and I'm a nonprofit, but the millions of dollars that he's given to businesses and organizations that don't need them. And what if we redirected and redistributed those funds for small businesses so they can use those funds to leverage them in order to get credit, in order to hire attorneys and accountants and the people that you need in order to scale your business or even start. That's the knowledge that you need in Congress. Somebody that understands from the base and somebody that understands what it means to scale nationally. I also want to be able to support our, as a congressperson, it is our job to ensure the purse, and that is taxes, balancing the budget. For us women in here, what did our moms always say? Don't put your purse on the floor and don't let anybody else hold your bag. Hold it close to you. Make sure you know what's in it. And women are very good at being conservative and making sure those budgets are balanced. There's never been a woman to win in the congressional race for first district. There has never been a person of color to even run. But I don't want to be voted in because I'm DEI or because I live in Hamilton County and I know that I can flip votes. I come qualified. My resume is in front of you and it speaks for itself. My experience is one that no other candidate can challenge and Greg Lansman cannot beat. You need someone at that table again that can bring a standard that understands that we cannot continue to write blank checks for wars, but we cannot also continue to down the trajectory that we're in when we have a $37 trillion deficit. You need somebody to understand. You need somebody that will fight at every table, in every conversation, in every room, and is not afraid to walk in the rooms where they don't necessarily see themselves, but they see somebody in their life that looks like somebody that they know. I understand people. I understand those that live in the West Side that can't afford their property taxes. I understand women that are working in careers because they started their lives as teen parents and they don't think that their life can change. I understand what it means to be a fourth generation teen mom and live in low income housing and all you want is the best for your children, but you don't know how to get there. So you accept what they give you. And I know what it's like to build from that. But it starts with putting the standard on your life and asking God for grace and being grateful for people that come into your life and walk into government that will stand for you. I don't know if that's my 15 minutes, but what I will say, I will thank you all for allowing me 15 minutes for you all to get to know me. I'm Rosemary Oglesby-Henry, and I intend to flip Ohio's first district, Rosemary Red, with your support. Thank you so much.